Hello, welcome to January's Julia Pachulia Schoolia. This month I chose to talk all about peppermint essential oil. Where is my bottle? Here it is. Peppermint. And the reason why I picked this essential oil particularly to talk about is because it's one of the most versatile essential oils out there. I have a list of 13 possible different uses for peppermint, and I was not, fishing and stretching to get that list of 13. When I considered doing this, initially I was going to do peppermint and lavender together, and I'm really glad that I decided not to do that because I have 7 pages of notes only about peppermint. So maybe lavender will be a future month's Julia Pachulia Schoolia if you're interested. There are plenty of uses for lavender as well. So when talking about peppermint, I'm just going to assume that everyone watching knows nothing about essential oils, so I'm going to cover some of the basics. And so you may have maybe something you already know, but I should have a few tips you've never heard before for sure in here. So, peppermint essential oil is in Canada considered a natural health product. And so what a natural health product is that there have been adequate scientific studies and enough evidence to convince the scientists at Health Canada that this natural alternative, if you want to use that term, product, is beneficial to help you in certain ways. And so there is a list of, the number is escaping me, at least 20, I think, roughly 20 essential oils that doTERRA offers that have been approved by Health Canada for a whole variety of reasons. And if you have an incredible, comprehensive healthcare plan that covers natural health solutions, any essential oil that you order from doTERRA that is deemed a natural health product may be covered by your plan as well. I imagine that does not apply to many of us, but it's possible, which is great. So in Canada, peppermint essential oil has been approved for these uses as a natural health product. So it is proven to have a calming effect. So you can use it for relaxation and calming. It is known to be beneficial when relieving colds and coughs. It will relieve digestive discomfort, nausea, and vomiting. And the last approved claim for peppermint essential oil is joint and muscle pain associated with sprains, strains, and rheumatoid arthritis. So I'm going to go over all of these in detail, and then I have a whole bunch of other uses that have not been approved by Health Canada, but you may find that peppermint actually works for you in these ways as well. So just some basics about peppermint essential oil. It is safe to use aromatically, so breathing it in, topically, which is applying it to your skin, and internally, which is taking it by mouth. Now, unless the peppermint is in like a food recipe, a dish that you've prepared, children and anyone younger likely will not want to take peppermint and other essential oils internally, but adults definitely have the option to do that. For topically, I would recommend most of the time for adults you want to dilute down peppermint with carrier oil. So I've actually, up in the description, I have linked the safe dilutions chart that I pass around. So this will have a dilution for People of all ages, if you're pregnant, you probably want to dilute in the 1% range, which is what is like a school-age child. That's nice and gentle and safe for you. Now, some things to think about if you're choosing to use peppermint essential oil. If you're breastfeeding, some women have actually found that peppermint essential oil, but also peppermint tea and different things can reduce their milk supply. So this could come in helpful if you're weaning. But as well, you may, if you're trying to breastfeed or you're, getting established, you may choose to avoid peppermint and use other things instead while you're breastfeeding. And for the same reason, you may choose to stop using peppermint kind of at the end of your pregnancy, just so things aren't interfered with. Parents of babies and small preschool children may choose to use a gentler essential oil on their little one. So there's plenty of other options. Spearmint is one that you can use almost interchangeably with peppermint in a lot of cases. Frankincense or lavender or other essential oils can have the same effect. So you might want to turn to those essential oils that are just a little bit more gentler for smaller bodies. Now, you can get a roller bottle. So this is peppermint. The roller looks like this, and you just roll it right on your skin. So great. So this is pre-diluted down into a carrier oil, and this line of touch roller bottles that doTERRA sells actually is safe for kids and for adults, so it's family safe. So you can make your own though. Get an empty roller bottle or reuse one of doTERRA's and put in your carrier oil and a certain amount of drops of the essential oil, put on the roller, shake it up, you're good to go as well. So this is just really great for easy application to skin, so you don't have to worry about having a lotion or a carrier oil and then putting the drops in and mixing it. That's just a little bit on the go, easier to get done. So I mentioned that spearmint essential oil is often a good substitute, this is great for children, for pregnant, breastfeeding women, elderly, anyone in a delicate state of health. For most of the uses for peppermint that I'm going to cover, you can substitute spearmint. It's just as effective, but it is just gentler on your systems. So they both work great for pepping up your energy, soothing the digestive system, and headaches and muscle and joint discomfort. But peppermint is really high in menthol. Spearmint is very low in menthol, and that's why it's more gentle. For that reason, only peppermint is good for respiratory support and for its cooling effect. With spearmint, you're not going to find that it's going to have the same effect. And peppermint is so versatile that it's actually found in many of doTERRA's essential oil blends. So I'll just list them off here, and at the end of watching this, you'll understand why doTERRA chose to put peppermint in all of these blends that have a huge variety of purposes. So past tense tension blend, which most people use for reducing tension, headaches, muscle soreness. That has peppermint in it. Aroma Touch Massage blend has it in it. Deep Blue Soothing blend for sore muscles and joints. It's got peppermint. Motivate Encouraging blend, which is a very peppy, wake you up, help you to focus essential oil blend. It's got peppermint. For the kids, we have Thinker Focus Blend. That's part of the kids collection and helps you to think and focus. Digest Zen or Zengest digestive blend. It's the same blend, it just has a different name in Canada and the US. That has peppermint in it. The Smart and Sassy or Slim and Sassy metabolic blend, which is great for digestion, supporting your metabolism, curbing sugar cravings, has peppermint in it. And Easy Air or Breathe Respiratory Blend also has peppermint. All right, so let us get on the 13 uses for peppermint. Number one that I picked was invigoration. So I can just smell that. My mind just wakes up and I am a lot more focused and peppy and just a little bit more full of life of what I'm actually doing. So if you need to focus on a task, you could just have peppermint diffusing in the room you're in, and it'll help you with other things that I'm going to go over tonight as well. And I will go over some of my favorite diffuser blends with peppermint later on as well. One thing I really like to do, I have a bottle of peppermint on my bedside table because I am not a morning person. So if I wake up and I'm not feeling very alert, I'll take a drop of peppermint in my hand. I'll just rub it together and inhale it in. And I'm just so much more awake after doing that. So good. So peppermint first thing in the morning, put some in your hand, smell it, it'll really help you to wake up. If I really have to focus, but I'm not around a diffuser, one thing I can do is I can grab, no matter where I go, because I always have my roller bottle of peppermint with me, I can put it on my pulse points, on my temples is another great place to apply peppermint. It helps to wake me up and invigorate me and helps me to focus. So I often will do driving. If I'm doing a long trip, I'll have my roller bottle of peppermint and usually Intune Focus Blend and Motivate Encouraging Blend. I'll have them just right here. So as I'm driving, if I need a little pick-me-up, I'll just grab a roller bottle and, as I'm driving to help keep me going. The second use for peppermint is better digestion. So for an adult, you can take like a bloop, maybe about a teaspoon of an unscented lotion or a carrier oil, and 1 to 3 drops of peppermint in there. And then you can just, under your clothes, obviously, not on top like I'm doing, rub it on your abdomen. The essential oils will soak in through your skin and get right to your digestive system where you need a little bit of help, and it should settle everything down. For kids, like a school-age kid, you could use the same amount of lotion or carrier, and 1 drop is a pretty good ratio for a kid. Or you could just take your roller bottle and roll it on your belly and rub it in the same way. And so this is just less mixing. It's a little bit more convenient in that way, but it's harder to get good coverage actually with the roller if you're rolling it over a large body part actually. So for nausea, you can just take peppermint, sniff it out of the bottle. You can also put it a drop in your hand and do the superstar move if you would like. That will help you with nausea as well. For motion sickness, you can get a car diffuser. So you could have that diffusing in your car. Usually they fit in your cup holder in your car, and you can plug it into like a USB to power it. But if you don't have one of those, grab a wad of Kleenex or a cotton ball, paper towel, piece of felt, and put a few, 2-3 drops of peppermint on that and shove it in your car air vents, and then you turn your car's air ventilation system into a giant diffuser, basically. Another thing, if it's just one person who's experiencing motion sickness, you can take a like a wooden clothespin, put the essential oils on there, and you can actually clip it right under their nose on their seatbelt. And then it'll be nice and handy, and they can smell as they ride around. So, adults can take peppermint and other essential oils that are safe to take internally. You can take it internally to help with your digestion. So this could mean a small glass of water, 1 or 2 drops of peppermint, chug it down. That might be really good for acid reflux and settling your stomach. You can also choose, if that doesn't appeal to you, you can also choose to put a drop or 2 in an empty veggie cap. So doTERRA sells these empty caps to help you to take essential oils internally. You just pull it apart. You put the essential oils inside, close it up, take it with water. So that's another option as well to help with your digestion. Number 3 use for peppermint is sore muscles. So you can apply peppermint just locally. Sore knee, put it on your knee. Sore back, put it on your back. And you can use the same ratio for adults and kids that I talked about a few minutes ago when I was talking about digestion. You can, if you have sore feet, a peppermint foot soak is amazing, especially on a hot day. You've been standing all day long, because the peppermint will actually cool you down as well. So good recipe that I like for a peppermint foot soak is 1/3 cup Epsom salts, 1/3 cup of baking soda, about a tablespoon of sea salt, warm water, or if you're trying to cool down, warm water to mix everything, and then cool water on top. A few drops of peppermint, and you just mix that all up in a foot-sized container. Pop your feet in, just soak and relax. So that will help with sore feet. Number 4 use for peppermint is headaches. This is actually the main reason why I carry a roller bottle of peppermint around with me at all times, is because this is my go-to for headaches. I will use other essential oil blends like Past Tense Tension Blend or lavender essential oil, but more often than not, peppermint is the one that appeals to me the most. So you just put diluted peppermint wherever you feel tension. So it could be on your forehead, your temples, back of your neck. Maybe it's radiating into your jaw, your shoulders if you're just very tense in that way. And the peppermint will really help with just dissipating the tension. A good thing with using essential oils for headaches is you just wait 5 minutes. And then if you don't feel the effects that you want to feel, you can apply more, or you can apply something different. Wait 5 minutes, and you can continue to kind of layer on until you feel the relief that you need. I really like the blanket fort technique if I have a headache and I'm at home. So basically what this is I just apply the essential oils wherever I think I need it, and then I'll just lay down, relax while I wait for it to take effect. I'll grab a blanket, stick it over me, and then you have this enclosed space, so you're amplifying the aromatic effects of the peppermint. So it just sort of turns that blanket fort into a little diffuser, and it'll just be more effective that way. I actually saved a couple of tips that were shared in another doTERRA Facebook community that I'm a part of. Someone just asked for your best tips for headaches and migraines. And they were so fantastic. A couple of them that came up were very specific, and I thought it might be useful for other people that I copied and pasted them. So I have them here, and they both use peppermint. So these are direct quotations. So someone just commented in a Facebook feed about how they use essential oils for their headaches and migraines. So the first person said, I use peppermint as a deep inhale and rub on the back of my neck, lavender, frankincense, and eucalyptus on my temples and back, frankincense on the roof of my mouth, and past tense in between all of those. So when this person says frankincense on the roof of their mouth, you just take a drop of frankincense. Copaiba will work in the same way, and you rub it on the roof of your mouth, and it soaks in. It sort of makes use of the same path, connection that causes us to get ice cream headaches. And so you actually get a really amazing relief fairly fast, usually within 10 minutes or so. You'll notice a difference. So the second person who commented that I really like what they said was, I use 2 drops each of marjoram, frankincense, peppermint, lavender, and copaiba. I rub them on the tips of the toes, fingertips, skull cap, base of neck, and across my forehead from temple to temple. Then I breathe in from my hands. As long as the migraine is caught in time, it works like a charm. And yes, 2 drops of each covers all areas. So I hope those 2 tips help someone out who's watching this video at some point. So let's move on to use for peppermint number 5, and that is against insects and other pests. So insects and rodents, especially ants and spiders, if you're thinking about insects, they don't like the smell of peppermint. Mice don't like peppermint either, and so if you apply peppermint to a certain area, insects and rodents will typically choose to go somewhere else. So I don't believe it hurts them, they just don't like it, and so they move, basically. So I have here a recipe for a natural garden spray. So this would be for if you have pests on your plants, and you can spray this spray on the plants, and then hopefully they will just move on somewhere else. So this garden spray is a 16-ounce spray bottle, 15 to 20 drops of peppermint essential oil, and distilled water is better if you're going to be keeping this over the long term, just to keep it, less bacteria in there. So normally if I'm giving a recipe for a room spray or some sort of spray with water and essential oils, I will suggest adding a teaspoon to a tablespoon of witch hazel or vodka, because this will help the essential oils to dissipate in the water. But I'm not suggesting this for this garden spray because I don't know what the witch hazel and the vodka will do for the plants. So you will just have to really shake to dissipate and mix around the peppermint before you spray your plants. So you just fill the bottle with water, leave a little bit of space so you can shake. And then you just spray it on your garden, spray it after rainfall, and make sure you give your plant a good coating, and hopefully it will get rid of your pests in your garden. You can also take this spray bottle and spray it places like you have ants in your kitchen. Spray peppermint essential oil on their little highway that you have, or maybe I love I don't love spiders, but I mean, I like spiders. But if you don't want like a whole bunch of spider webs in your entryway outside in your front porch, you can spray peppermint around and they'll likely choose to live somewhere else. So mice. I was asked about using peppermint essential oil against mice, and so I did a bunch of research. I really don't think that this is the best rodent control technique for you to use, but I'll share what I learned with you anyway. So apparently the strong smell of peppermint, first of all, is really irritating to their sensitive smell. And they use mouse pheromones to figure out where they have to go and navigate. And so the peppermint interferes with that. And so they just don't like peppermint. But it has to be really smelly to work. So putting at least 5 drops on a cotton ball is a typical advice that I read for using peppermint essential oil against mice. And you can put it, if you know how they're getting in your house, like fill it up with these pepperminty cotton balls, or, you know, paper towel or rags, whatever you're using. And you can block off places where you don't want them to go also, like where you store your food, for instance. But the kicker is, if they're already inside your house, you're not going to coat your house with peppermint cotton balls, right? So they're going to choose to live in areas of your house that don't smell like peppermint. And you will have to sort of reload with peppermint, like maybe like at least a couple times a week, because once the smell is gone, it's not going to deter them anymore. So probably trapping is still the best way to go. But there is, if you are vegan, live and let live, give peppermint a try. And it's supposed to work. I've never tried it myself. So use for peppermint. Number 6 is respiratory, to help you with better breathing. So you can apply peppermint to your chest before a workout. So this will help open up your airways, help you to take those deeper breaths as you're, doing your cardio or whatever you're up to, and also pep you up, invigorate you, make you feel a little bit more energized about the workout too. So that's a way to use peppermint to help you breathe when you're not feeling sick and you want to be healthy. You can diffuse peppermint. You can dilute in a carrier oil, apply it to your neck, your chest, and your back, just like Vicks VapoRub. You can make use of your roller bottle in the same way. You can make use of peppermint in a steamy mist to help clear up your sinuses as well. So you could have the traditional steamy bowl of water with the towel and put a couple of drops of peppermint in the hot water. You could do it that way. Or if you're having a steamy shower anyway, take your bottle of peppermint once everything's nice and foggy and steamy and you're in there, and just put a few drops of peppermint away from, the flow of water, and the essential oil will actually waft up on the steam in the shower and you'll breathe it in too. So those are 2 steamy ways that you can make use of peppermint. You can also think about something called the t-shirt tent. So you would coat your neck, chest, and back with diluted essential oil blend, and just like the blanket fort technique, you don't necessarily actually have to use your t-shirt, but put it up over your nose. Smell it in. Now you have a small diffuser. It's soaking in through your chest. It's getting into your lungs, your sinuses, and you can up-level this by putting a hot water bottle or a heating pad on your chest at the same time as well to help to drive the essential oils in. And you can use Peppermint by itself, any essential oil blend or combo that you love that's going to help you to breathe better. One that I have tried that works really well is rosemary, lime, and peppermint together. So for adults, a couple of teaspoons of carrier oil with 2 drops rosemary, lime, and peppermint. If you do not have lime, substituting lemon would work very well as well. For kids, you could put 3 teaspoons of carrier oil with 1 drop each of rosemary, lime, and peppermint, and that will work well as well. Okay, I posted about this really recently, but I'm going to say this again in case someone is watching this in the future, because it's a really great tip, and it is the Deep Inhale. So it's a very intense sinus steam, probably for adults only, because it's crazy strong, but it works. And so you have a mug of steamy hot water. You put 2 drops each of lemon, oregano, tea tree, and peppermint. And then you just put your nose over top as close as you can get it. You may want to grab like a washcloth or something to cover your eyes, because when I do it, my eyes tear up. But have Kleenex or a hanky close by, because it's going to really just clear out your head. It works really, really well. Yeah, it's pretty intense, but if that's what you need to do, it works. All right, this kind of goes a little bit along with healthier breathing, and it's environmental allergies. So peppermint, especially alongside lavender and lemon, can reduce symptoms of seasonal allergies, actually. So you can have a diffuser blend just going in the background of 2 drops peppermint, 2 drops lemon, 2 drops lavender. That should help you out. You could have a blend that you make up in an empty roller bottle. So 6 drops each of lemon, lavender, and peppermint in the 10 milliliter size, the typical sized roller bottle. Should be good, it should be strong enough. You can apply to the back of your neck, behind your ears, on the temples, on the sternum. And for kids, for school-age kids, try about like half the drops of essential oil, so like maybe about 3 drops of each. And just be careful in the summertime, because it does have lemon essential oil in it. Because lemon and all citrus essential oils can cause you to sunburn more, so be careful if you're applying it to places like the back of your neck and then you go out in the sun that you don't have like a little red sunburn welch from your allergy roller bottle. You can also, adults can take peppermint, lavender, and lemon internally as needed, kind of to help to deal with their seasonal allergies. So you can use those veggie caps that I mentioned, and you would put 1 or 2 drops of each. Start with 1 and see how it sits, and then go from there. You could take them a few times a day if you would like. If making up your own veggie caps is not for you, there's something called Tri-Ease soft gels, and these soft gels have lemon, lavender, and peppermint in there, and I think equal amounts. So this is ready to go for you. All right, so we're on to number 8. The 8th use for peppermint is emotional support. Now, I did cover that peppermint is very invigorating. It helps you to focus. But at the very, very beginning of the video, I mentioned that Health Canada has approved peppermint for its calming effects. So it can be also very calming, reassuring, and centering. So even though peppermint wakes you up, it's not doing that in a very like jittery way, like if you had, you know, 3 cups of coffee. And so there's sort of two sides. There's the focus, but also the centering that will happen at the same time when you're being invigorated. Peppermint, because it is just very zippy, it's very happy, it can just promote a positive mood. So if you're feeling a little bit down, smelling peppermint might be what you need to kind of just make you feel a little bit more cheerful about your day. Use number 9 is fresh breath and oral health. doTERRA has these little peppermint beadlets, which you can order. There comes quite a few. There's 125 in this little tube. They're tiny, tiny little beadlets. I have them out on my hand, but I don't know if you can see. I'll try to pick one up. See it in there? There it is. And so these beadlets contain 1/3 of a drop of peppermint essential oil. So I will take 1 or 2, put them in my mouth, burst them with my teeth, and then whoo, peppermint. So it is my sugar-free breath mint, these peppermint beadlets. Peppermint is also excellent for your oral health. So if you're a DIY kind of person and you're making your own toothpaste, peppermint is a great choice. On Guard toothpaste is a favorite of mine, and this toothpaste not only has On Guard Protective Blend, which is great against bacteria and other germy things that might be in your mouth. On Guard toothpaste actually also contains peppermint and myrrh essential oil, which are great for your dental health. Number 10 is cooking. So I've talked a lot about internal use of essential oils during this Facebook Live. Now, I do want to say if you have other bottles of essential oils that are not doTERRA, I would be careful about using them in your cooking or taking them internally like I talked about. And that's just because doTERRA has exceptionally high standards, no compromise for testing. So you can be sure that when you're using a bottle of doTERRA peppermint, you're actually getting peppermint essential oil. It's not cut with the cheaper plant matter, or when you're talking about taking internally, there aren't synthetic fillers, synthetic peppermint fragrance. You don't want to be eating that. So you could just be certain with doTERRA, or if you have another company's essential oil, do your research about their testing practices before you take internally, definitely. And if you're not sure, just don't do it. Okay, so cooking. We've all probably made something or had something that is peppermint flavored. So you can substitute peppermint essential oil in place of fresh mint or peppermint extract. You can start with 1 drop and move up from there if you would like a stronger taste. And if you would like the taste of less than 1 drop, a great tip is to grab a toothpick, dip the toothpick in the little hole in the center, pull it out, and then swirl that toothpick around in your food, and you should have less than a drop on that toothpick. Any recipe, I think, with chocolate will be delicious with peppermint essential oil in it. So if you have a favorite fudge recipe or chocolate bark or hot chocolate, chocolate cake, peppermint is delicious. And doTERRA has a fantastic selection of food recipes on their website. A lot of them actually use peppermint. So if you want to find what peppermint recipes are on doTERRA's website, go to doterra.com. And there's a little search bar, search for peppermint, and all the blog articles and all their DIY personal care and food recipes, everything will come up, and you'll be able to see what your options are for cooking. Use number 11. We're almost up to 13. Use number 11 is peppermint cools you down. So I'm working on a hot special event. I'm directing parking for hours on like a very, very hot day at work. When I come inside for my break, I will grab my roller bottle of peppermint. I will put it on my temples, my forehead, back of my neck, back of my knees, and I will sit and just wait for the cooling sensation to spread throughout the body. In a pinch, if you want to feel how cooling peppermint is, take a drop of pure peppermint essential oils and apply it on the back of your neck and just wait 5 minutes and you should feel a cooling, tingly sensation spread throughout your body. You could make a cooling spritz of peppermint and water in a spray bottle, spritz yourself down that way. You can use that peppermint foot soak that I mentioned earlier on when I was talking about sore feet and muscle soreness. Only instead of using warm water, use cool water. If you or someone, has a fever, putting peppermint in cool water where you put a washcloth in and apply to the forehead, the peppermint will just help to cool the body down a little bit. You can also try just applying it. It should really help with cooling the body when you have a fever. Number 12 is that peppermint, it's very tingly. It's very soothing to the skin, especially itchy skin, irritated skin. Because it's cooling and tingly, it'll help to soothe that itchiness. So to have a little bit of peppermint close by if you're camping or at the cottage to apply to bug bites, fantastic. It's going to really help you out. Adding peppermint to your DIY aftershaves, body butters, scrubs, it's a great idea to kind of give yourself a very kind of invigorating and fun, but also very soothing spa treatment as well. And last, I have 13, which is my favorite diffuser blends with peppermint essential oil. Some of these are favorites of mine, and some of these are just, okay, peppermint is really good with this type of essential oil. So it doesn't matter how many more bottles of essential oils I get. One of my favorite blends is always 3 drops wild orange and 3 drops peppermint. It's amazing in the morning. It helps to wake me up. I think even this was my very, very first essential oil blend that I ever popped in my diffuser when it came brand new. I'm pretty sure it was peppermint and wild orange that I put in there. This is very invigorating. It'll help you to focus, to get stuff done, get you excited about the day. And also both peppermint and wild orange are very good to help quell nausea and to help to settle your digestion as well. Another favorite of mine is 2 drops peppermint, 2 drops rosemary, 2 drops lemon, or another citrus essential oil. This is fantastic for focus. Rosemary is great for memory and focus. Peppermint will get you going, so will citrus. This blend is also really great for respiratory issues as well. It's very similar to that t-shirt tent recipe that I gave to you a little while ago. I really like pairing peppermint with a lot of the invigorating blends. So peppermint with elevation, citrus bliss, motivate, or cheer. It's great. Give it a try. Another great one is a candy-inspired diffuser blend where you put 1 or 2 drops of wintergreen with a few drops peppermint in your diffuser, and that's going to be very, like refreshing, I think. There's also the Allergy Diffuser blend that I mentioned a little while ago. So 2 drops peppermint, 2 drops lavender, and 2 drops lemon. And I really like also peppermint essential oil with cypress, which is evergreen essential oil, but it's very zippy. So it goes well with peppermint and a little bit of citrus. So whatever citrus essential oil kind of strikes your fancy, those 3 together, fantastic. That's great. So, a lot of you have been popping in and out kind of as I've been giving you all these ways you can use peppermint. So this is definitely, if you have not started with essential oils, I would recommend peppermint as one of your first. Peppermint comes in pretty much every single enrollment kit for a good reason with doTERRA. So, yeah. And if you haven't been using your peppermint all that often, maybe hopefully I gave you a few new ideas. And I hope you guys have a fantastic Wednesday, and I hope you're keeping warm. I felt almost ridiculous talking about peppermint cooling you down when it's like -20 outside. Anyway, talk to you guys all later. Bye!